for game number 1. Best of 5s now. To the top left hand side, our red Zerg player. This is Solar from TSG. Up against our blue Terran in the bottom right, GuMiho from Storm Gaming. Get this set up, we get this rolling. Game number 1 of the series. And it is going to start with some proxy racks action. It's something GuMiho does a lot in his TVZ actually. Yes, when you're talking about we could have a nice long series and GuMiho's just like, nah. Let's just proxy it up to get started, shall we? So it is going to be a proxy to the top side to kick things off here. And getting that rolling right away. Obviously again, $600 prize pool for this event guaranteed. If you guys want to add to that or help us reach that, I guess at the moment you can help out over on the Match Arena page. We have had a few dollars coming in. Let me go check who those are from. We just had, I think, a $5 donation, as I can't now type Match Arena. It's going to be the free racks as well, by the way, from GuMiho. So setting up into free racks. Thank you very much to Otto, who has donated the $5 into the prize pool here on the Match Arena page. Thank you so much. We're now only $24 away from reaching our $600 goal, so you can help that out, guys. Again, that's exclamation mark Match Arena in the chat. It goes a long way and it's much appreciated. It's the first Marines starting up. Now, Solar opens hatch, gas and pool. He does not Overlord Scout for these barracks either, so he's going to be in the dark playing against this. We'll have to really have just a good response. His next Overlord is out the front, though, so it will see these SCVs and the Marine coming forwards. So he is going to identify this attack. Setting up here is the bunker coming through to the front. So getting started there. As you see a few of these drones just nibbling away, but not really able to do much. He's going to start setting up that spine crawler. More drones will pull down. Obviously, you have to protect this spine so it actually gets up here. Otherwise, the Marines will just be able to cancel it. A couple of lings popping out, going to jump on that SCV on the left-hand side of the bunker at the moment. And with this amount of Marines, you can start doing quite a lot of damage to the drone count. As the SCV will be pulled back before the bunker is done. Can he get back to that bunker? I mean, that's what you need right now. As the SCV is going to fall, though. So no bunker here, but a lot of units killed. 5 drones, a lot of Zerglings already. And the Spinecrawler is going to take a bit of a beating so far as well. Spinecrawler going super low. Doesn't quite go down yet, but it is low. Half health, and that might be a transfuse just used on that pretty early on. As you see a few more Marines gathering together. I mean, GuMiho has like 10-ish seconds to go before this transfuse on this Spinecrawler. If the Spinecrawler gets transfused, he doesn't break through here. That said, he does start an expansion at home. He lifts up the racks and goes home as well. And so it looks like he's just happy to maybe play the transition game. He is 20 SCVs to 16 drones. Now, there's energy for the transfusion, and there's no way these Marines are going to be able to trade well enough. The good thing is there isn't really much threat of a counterattack, because as GuMiho pulls back, there's no Rotron from Solar. The only thing you'll have is Ling Speed, and if these racks do come up walling off over here, there's not really much Solar can do. He's also continuing to build Ling Solar. He doesn't know if SCVs are being pulled and what the follow-up is just yet. He'll know it now as he's seen the command center, but obviously that's pretty late to find that out, so only just now is he going to be like, okay, drone, 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 and put out all of those. Those few Marines gathering up on the natural here. As a lot of the Lings from Solar start to go across the map rather slowly to begin with. Single Zergling from Solar as well coming down to that bottom right-hand side. Factory about to complete here. You see the Marines with the high ground vision able to get rid of that Overlord. And the barracks will be fully walled off just before these Lings get here. So nothing Solar can do with these Zerglings. These have been an absolute waste of lava. I mean, obviously not all of them need something to defend. But all of those extra ones that Solar built, they're not going to achieve anything. And Solar's supply blocked right now. I have to say that this opening free racks from GuMiho has been quite the success story. And even if those Lings get in, do they really do that well against these Marines if they step back towards the like minerals or so? I don't think they really make much of a difference. I think the biggest thing is he probably shut down some Marines. And if you shut down some Marines, it takes away the threat of counterattacks and some of the power of counterattacks. That's probably about it. Probably doesn't, you know, I don't think it sort of turns the game around completely. Obviously, it is still better for GuMiho not to have lost these Marines, because those Zerglings really are useless from Solar. He would have much rather had those be drones already and then make Lings when he actually needs to defend. First tank pops out. Stimpack will start, as GuMiho has this full reactor tech lab set up on the front. And the tank moving forwards as well will siege up, and now those Lings are in some real trouble. A lot of the target fires put down a little clump of them. So the tank picking up a few kills to begin with, and now looks as though Solo's just going to be having access to the natural, but of course he's not going to run up here. Oh, not run in with enough units at least. And we'll see 8 Marines going into a medevac. We'll wall off with the depot. And yeah, nice little wall down here. We'll move the tank back to get the final depot here to finish the wall off. And now there's absolutely no access. Obviously nice to have these depots here than the barracks, because otherwise you can't actually leave without lifting up the racks. You can't ever really build an add-on on it. And now you can build the reactor on the barracks as well. It has the depots to leave via. And this medevac coming across the map from GuMiho. I mean, that could be an overload kill right away here in the main. And this overload is sat in prime position to be picked off actually. So he's going to go straight towards this, and that overload will go down. It's already nice because Solar will hit a supply block from this. No overload on the way, so Solar is supply blocked. The best way out of this from Solar at the moment is to actually just lose drones. Obviously that's not good, you don't want to be losing workers here, so not really a good little situation as GuMiho will get himself in that little gap as well. I mean, obviously no stim or anything, there's quite a lot of Zerglings, so while he does trade fairly well, it's not anything amazing, it's not too scary. If there was stim pack there, then maybe a lot more Zerglings would have died, but not the case. Stim pack, we talk about it, is going to be coming up in the next few moments, so that's going to be done soon. There's 8 more drones on the way up. We're about to finish up in this main base as we do see that medevac out through the top side. A few more Banelings on the way out, plus 1 attack and armor coming in on the engineering base still as well. 3rd command center now dropping down out over here. And we are just going to be seeing those couple of medevacs still on the way up. Marines, tanks, GuMiho just pressing out into the center of the map. We'll scan ahead of the army now. Looking at that creep thread and looking to see what Solo's setting up into. No Baneling speed, so as those tanks siege up and there's stim on these Marines, it's actually kind of a scary little push forwards. And remember, Solo's been pushed back from that early 3 racks, plus the fact he's been supply blocked since then a couple of times. And he made all of those Zerglings that weren't really necessary. A lot of little things that really have added up over the course of this game to put GuMiho into quite the lead. I mean, these Banelings are just going to blow up to siege tanks if they're slow. They're not going to connect on anything. GuMiho's got himself in a great little position on the low ground here. I mean, those Banelings again just flowing up very quickly. Gets rid of all the Banelings, now the Lings running in. And the siege tank fire supporting the Marines. Sullivan's just absolutely falling apart here in this game. Number 1, Marines continue to pull back. More and more of these Zerglings going down. And the final Marines will drop as well. And Sullivan might be able to get on top of these tanks and clean it up. There is reinforcements on the way over. One of the 3 siege tanks goes down, but it will be replaced pretty quick. Again, the Marines are here to stop the rest of the tanks just going down without really getting too much done. No combat shields yet, but about to hit 1-1 upgrades is just going to put you even further ahead. That was a lift up, not a Baneling connection, so it's going to be able to just unload even more Marines showing up. Solar just knows that this is GG's. There's no way you kind of fight back from this position, so GuMiho grabs game number 1 of this best of 5. Kairos Junction as a map. I mean, it's one of those typically standard maps, right, where you sort of have the bases. It's not going to give you a lot of bases very easily. It's not your King's Cove, it's not your Zero, but it definitely can get into it doesn't really kind of lend itself towards split map scenarios. Usually late games on this map look a lot more aggressive, pushing around with armies, taking different positions, because there are so many positions to take. You can't just set up a line of defense and be like, okay, I'm safe now. So we'll see how this game goes into, if it goes late game at all. Obviously, it could just be another kind of mid-game sort of focus game as well. Obviously, no proxy racks to start this one off, so Solar, our red Zerg in the bottom right, will not have any early game shenanigans to concern himself with. And to the top left-hand side, it is going to be GuMiho, our blue Terran player here. As we get this up and running. So, Johnny73 in the chat saying, hi, Wardy, love your streams. Thank you so much. Glad you enjoy them. Thanks for dropping by. Keep on watching. Again, we have streams lined up for the entire week now. We've got today, obviously, the playoffs of this tournament. Tomorrow and Sunday, WCS qualifiers. Monday and Tuesday, the China Team Championship finally gets started. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have more action from the WardiTV European Invitational. So we're live every day for the next week or so. I am, this time next week, Friday next week, going to be flying to the Netherlands for a couple of days. Just going to see what's going on at the Fermi Cup, so I'm going to be there for the weekend. And then when I come back, we'll be back to streaming pretty much every single day again. So lots of stuff going on, lots of action happening. And as we do see a factory starting to build up here. So again, that factory up and running. We see a couple of queens and a few zerglings on the way out. Getting these started up as well, as we do have an overlord from Solar just out the front, also keeping an eye on any marines or SCVs that show up to start building bunkers. But obviously that's not going to happen. GuMiho just sat at home. And again, the marine instead of a reaper, so giving up that scouting potential to go into a faster factory and faster reactor. So really trying to get some very early Hellions out here, really rushing those out actually. And as the factory, even that's going to start just one Hellion. Reactor not done yet, so maybe a couple of marines and then make the swap. Starport comes down pretty much straight away as well. Okay, so there's 2 more marines. It's quite a lot of marine production early on in this. Got some interesting little things up for debate. Zergling getting picked away at. Marine is going to be able to take that Zergling down, so Zergling will fall. Marines coming in through the top side. Means that we are going to be seeing mech here. The barracks just floating out so much. It's very likely to be mech. He's not going to keep out there. He's just looking for the overlord. But yeah, it really is very likely. Yeah, let's see the barracks going to drop down, drop the tech lab. Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like it could be mech, but I guess maybe if the barracks come back, maybe not. I'm getting myself confused here. As we do see the Balin nest coming up, so Solo just going to play a bit of Ling Bane to open up with for the next little bit, as we do see the first medevac heading down toward the bottom right-hand side of the map. So medevac heading down to the bottom right-hand side, a single Zergling running up here as well. There's that stim pack getting started up. So maybe actually we do see Bio. Wow, okay. I was just a bit shocked to see the barracks flying out. I didn't really think it was just to check this overlord position, but I guess it does kind of make sense. Well, back at home, Bio, it's going to be from GuMiho here. As you see a couple of SCVs going down, a couple of Lings at the front. Actually getting some damage, which is pretty nice. Meanwhile, the medevac in the main only has 3 marines, so not really much to be done there. Ridic boosters fading away as the medevac is out to safety, though. No real openings for GuMiho to exploit at all, so for the most part, he is Solo looking pretty okay, pretty happy with his position, I'd imagine. I mean, being set up safely at this point is pretty nice, as we do see this lair about halfway done. A few Hellions up in this medevac. Going to be dropping down into the main in a second, so going to be pressing forwards in towards a mineral line. I mean, quite a few drones that can get shot at there. There's one drone getting shot away at straight away. This one drone down is going to be seen at Spore Crawler building up here on the bottom. Hellions and Marines gathering up, and again some more Zerglings, some Solo going to pull around over to the right. They're going to start picking their way through these rocks, so again looking to deal just a little bit of damage at the moment, and just going to be seeing this Overseer morphing in. And it's ready to go. +1 melee upgrades on the way through now, as the 1-1 upgrades from the engineering bay is getting started as well. Stimpack dropping down from the Terran. We've been watching that research for quite a while now. It's almost done. Nice for Solo to clean these rocks out, although Lings are nearby, not immediately in position to defend their Hellions. One drone goes down. I love that the medevac comes boosting in after those Hellions. That was pretty sick. Just came in from the top of the screen. I was like, we've got you. Get you out of there as the Zerglings start to attack. A change in here should be dealt with pretty easily. The third base from GuMiho set up. And again, so far, so good. Very, very typical stuff so far. As we are going to be seeing an armory dropping down in the natural expansion. The follow-up here is obviously just going to be straight to 2-2, and obviously you apply a little bit of pressure now. You've got Stim and Storm, but typically 2-2 is the real sort of time when you go for that huge push. This is actually a pretty significant push. I mean, he kept the Hellions alive, which means that this attack has a little bit of an extra buffer to what it might usually have if those Hellions have gone down. So that is really nice. He's pressing forwards here. Lings are getting ready to come in from a couple of angles. Banelings still don't have Bane speed for a little while longer, so that's something Solo's going to want to try and buy some time for. Ling's actually going to go for the counterattack across the map, and they will get in here, so Solo with a huge counterattack. The Marines are already in trouble. Well, GuMiho now might try and take this as an opportunity to kind of keep pushing forward. He's going to send the Hellions back home. This is already 6-7 SCVs down, and that number is only going to rise. Hellions do show up back at home, but I mean, GuMiho has to protect them and micro them. One Hellion picked off, a few Lings left in the natural. So many Lings out of here alive as well is very impressive. I mean, that's really a game changer, because it means that Solo still has so many units from that, and that GuMiho doesn't just take an army advantage despite dropping workers. And so GuMiho can't just be like, well, you don't have many Lings to kind of help you defend now. No, not at all. GuMiho is absolutely going to be in some trouble here. Those Lings are indeed out of that base. They're in the bottom left-hand corner. That's nicely done. Well, Solo killing all of those workers is obviously pretty great. As we see T2 upgrades starting up from GuMiho. A little delay on those as well. I mean, Solo will just take a slight edge. It means there's not going to be much of an upgrade difference at any point in the game when it comes to 2-2. When it comes to 3-3, there may be a bit of a difference because, of course, Solo might indeed have to look towards the hive before he gets that. And those Lings maybe, I kind of want to believe those Lings could have got on top of those tanks and maybe fought this, but instead going to pull back down to the bottom side. I mean, this entire army of GuMiho is getting swept away, and Solo with a flood of Zerglings is going to be able to tuck that one. He's going to be able to sweep that one away nice and easily. I don't know what I was going for there with my metaphor. Wasn't working at all, was it? So Queen's coming forward, is going to throw down a bunch of group spread as we do see Zerglings of Solo pulling back through to the bottom side. A hatchery here will cancel. And you see those Zerglings from Solo jumping on top of that supply depot once again. Right, going to be about halfway done in a moment or two. 2-2 upgrades still coming along here as well. And we're just going to be seeing Marines and Medivacs pushing forwards from GuMiho, coming out in towards the center. Looking to see just what will happen as we see the test Carapace on the way up. More Queens back down to the bottom. Lings and Banes still gathering to the top, and just going to be seeing those few Marines pressing forwards. Let me run straight in here. A couple of drones going down. Medevac's going to begin and loading Marines into the main base. Going to see that Overlord going down here. Stimming forwards. A bunch of Zerglings going to be in some trouble actually, because those Marines are very nicely tucked into that little corner. Nice target fire on the Banes. Only one of them surviving. Still Lings and Banes on the top right hand side, hiding away there. Medivacs through the bottom and just going to be seeing the Marines. Looking to see what's happening. Again, a lot of creep pressing forwards. That's the one thing Solo really has on his side at the moment. A lot of creep spread kind of covering the front. Viper being produced. Ultimus Cavern is about halfway done. Adrenal Glands plus 3 Carapace coming in as well. Marines will press forwards, and a little bit more creep spread going to be taken down too. More Zerglings coming over, and we will see those Marines just lifted up, taken out of this equation. And GuMiho going to go boosting up to the top side of the map. Again, just so much creep though. It's over the halfway point with a lot of active tumors remaining. It means it's really going to start encroaching on the bases of the Terran player here. So while GuMiho has had some decent trades here and there, I don't think there's really anything to do with 2-2, and I think Solo's going to very safely be up into that hive tech of the Ultras and so on. And the first Ultra's about to come out onto the map right here as we see Marines looking around the top. I mean, some of this creep finally getting pushed back now. Zerglings and Balins from Solo gathering back into the center. Planetary Fortress coming up on the 4th base. And takes that forward base as the 4th as well. He's just looking to establish himself a position in the middle of the map. I like the idea. I mean, if you hold that 4th base and then you can take the base to the left as your 5th quite easily, it's quite nice. His Lings are going to be able to kill off those rocks to the side, which means that there's actually a bit more of an access point for Banes to run by into that mineral line. And the Slingers over here are going to force these Marines to just lift up and evacuate back towards the planetary fortress. A little bit of Ling Bane to the top side too, but it's a good set of, well, it's a few depots. There's not, you don't have to crash into the depots necessarily, as you're going to see Banelings will. Slingers running in as well. There's a couple of siege tanks. There's still going to be quite a few Lings going down. This army up here is trying to make it in, but the tank coverage is still pretty good. Those Lings didn't do too much more actually. Mostly just the supply depots that were killed off more than anything else. Obviously, Lingers, Banes, and Ultras down to the bottom left. Marines are going to press forwards up through the top side. A lot of this creep getting picked away at the moment, so a lot of creep spread going down here currently. So much of this creep going to get pushed back as we see Zerglings all the way up to the top. A few more Banes and Ultras coming out as well. Marines pressing forwards, and again, just seeing this army of Solar moving around, seeing where he can go. A few more Balins going to start morphing in, and I mean, honestly, just Solar has an army that realistically GuMiho can't attack into on creep. And that means that Solar has a lot of time on his hands, because there's not really much GuMiho can do for a while other than probably build up into Ghost Liberator. And so at this point, Solar can sort of, you know, build up that bank, take more bases, and as GuMiho just sits back, cornered into his 4 base, Solar's just going to get into a Great Aspire, he can build into Broodlords, and in general, he's just going to be in a really good spot, I think. You see those Marines, I mean, picking off a few Zerglings here and there is nice, but Solar has 3,500 minerals in the bank, so you losing a few Lings doesn't really have that much of an impact. Nice catch here on these Queens up here. And GuMiho again with the Micro in general is just looking to catch creep tumors, get rid of some of this creep spread and control that Solar has on the map, because there is a ridiculous amount of it at the moment. And especially once you clean up this left-hand side so you can get towards that 5th base eventually. Marines over here too. Solar is still just building Lingbane Ultra though. You know, again, typically I'd imagine at this point you kind of say as a circuit, okay, I'm in a good spot, let's expand on that and build myself in towards the, you know, in towards the Great Aspire and Broodlords. Even if I don't build into them right away, just have that option available. Whereas, you know, now he doesn't quite have it, he's just trying to end the game on Lingbane Ultra. Which, in fairness, because of the economy difference, he might be able to do. Because he knows he's very comfortably holding GuMiho back to 4 bases, the swarm of Lingbane Ultra might just overwhelm GuMiho eventually, which is what I think Solar's hoping for, and these Banelings are going to be a big helping hand to that. That's 16 workers blown up here as the army in the center. A lot of tank fire from GuMiho, but again, Solar has the money to rebuild this fairly easily. A couple of blinding clouds coming down. That means all of these siege tanks are going to drop here. I mean, the thing is, tanks are great defensively, but at the end of the day, they're not the best against Lingbane. Winter Mines are definitely a lot better, but he's continuing to build the tanks, which is interesting, especially now Vipers are up. You would expect those tanks to probably not do as much here. As you do see these units pulling down the right-hand side. Bio going to push in on the right as well, grabs a Spore, grabs a Queen. Hatchery will also drop a few of these drones, also going to be in some trouble. Bio will stim up this right-hand side. A couple of Banelings picked off as well. And GuMiho, you can see he's kind of got the supply to sort of fight back a bit. Solar still has money in the bank, but so does GuMiho now. I mean, you gotta think Solar's lost a lot in these couple of fights that he's taken, you know, into defensive positions. You can see in that resources lost top left, 12,500 to 20,000 resources. That's fine as long as Solar continues to outmine GuMiho. The problem is, I mean, eventually, I mean, GuMiho has gotten up to this 5th base, right? Which is already a big helping hand towards being able to survive even longer. So eventually Solar has to start fighting some better fights, otherwise he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He needs to get this extractor up here. He is kind of limited on gas, and there's extractors that are missing on his bases, so he needs to get this set up. I mean, I feel like I just completely missed this attack that killed off this base, so we'll just pretend that that one was always dead or something. Sorry, guys. Probably the drop that just came in. Finding it a bit difficult to focus on all the minimap action at the minute. Feeling a bit ill and my focus not being 100% there. So I do apologize if we missed a couple of things like that. And as we do see the army of Corruptors up through the top side. I showed it going down. Yeah, you see, my brain's not just with the game at the minute. Sorry, guys. Ultras, Banes, and Lings up to the top side. Looking to see what's going on. Those Banes are pretty nice, crashing into those few Marines. 4 Ghosts on the way up as well. And we are going to be seeing another medevac getting taken down. Bio army still from GuMiho pressing out into the center. Moving up to the top side now. The Corruptors obviously here is in addition to help deal with the Liberators, which are typically a good response to the Ultralisks. 8 workers going down. Army on the bottom side. Bio going to press through in this hatchery. They want to get picked away, but GuMiho at the same time has been pushed away from one of his bases. Losing 10 SCVs. GuMiho only on 53 SCVs. I'm sure those SCVs are somewhere. They must be ready to come back and mine here in a moment, right? They can't all just be in the natural. Well, there's a lot of them, but they'll move somewhere else very soon, I'm sure. Bio here picking away at this egg. Doing a little bit more damage. Base continue to roll forwards. Medivacs will lift up once more as the Bio pushing over to the right-hand side. Again, more creep team is being picked off at the moment as we see the Liberator from GuMiho around the top right-hand corner. For a Spire dropping down here in the natural expansion. And again, just going to be seeing those Lings pushing through. Marauder, Marine taking some damage. Solar's still moving over to the right here, and we are just going to be seeing this Bio Force picking up a few of those Changelings. Liberator sieges up, jumps right on top of this mineral line. So a few drones already dropping down over here. I mean, GuMiho doing a really good job of harassing and trying to pull himself back into this game. I just still wonder a little bit if Solar just has a bit too much. Resources lost is now a 7,000 difference, a little bit better for Solar than it was before. As here we go, pushing in, Ling Bane, Ultra, the Corruptors too. I mean, Ghosts are sniping. If enough Banes can get on top of those Ghosts though, that could be dangerous as well. The Banes are on top of the Ghosts. Crashing through here, those Banes are going to blow up every single Ghost. That's actually incredible. Solar loses a lot of his Ultras at the same time, but rebuilds actually only mostly Zerglings. Oh my god, those 2 Ultras surviving is amazing, because obviously they can get transfused back up to health. That's 12 supply, which is just absolutely safe. That's crazy. GuMiho gets 2 more tech labs up and running here. Probably looking towards some 4 production potentially to deal with the Broodlords, which he kind of probably feels is potentially on the way, right, eventually. 16 more Zerglings on the way up from Solar as well. Hatchery in the bottom left side. They are not mining. There's GuMiho resetting this base up here. Still a lot of minerals from GuMiho on bases, which he's just having to resend workers too. I mean, it's tough to get this base mining again because it's only an orbital command, so it doesn't have that self-protection against Ling run buys, etc. Liberator will siege up here, and just a couple of drones getting picked off. We'll see more 4s on the way out, and again, those Broodlords continue to move in, those numbers building up here. It's going to be a big kind of decisive factor for Solar. Having those Broodlords in play can definitely change things, as we are going to be seeing that next Brood finishing. So Corruptors and Broodlords pushing into the center of the map. Lings, Banes, Queens, and Ultralisks from Solar coming forwards right now. A couple of Spore Crawlers setting up towards the front as well, and again, all of this Bioforce from GuMiho going towards the middle of the map here. Also just going to be seeing a couple of Spores still coming up, 4s still popping out, Marine production continuing through too. Solar around the top side with these Zerglings running around to see where you can get to. Going to be running in towards these SCVs. And that orbital command, this is the one weakness of it. They're not really protecting against just little Ling run-bys, and it takes these units to come across. There's a few Lings burrowed already, so they can pop up and get some more damage done very easily, very soon after. The drop down here is already met by Lings and Banes as well. Solar won't fight it too far off the creep. As you gotta say, I mean, the map is looking very different to how it looked 5 minutes ago. The creep now kind of in the middle of the map rather than approaching the Terran bases. So, again, GuMiho's done a lot of good things, but little mistakes like this, letting the Balin connect into the center of Marines. We saw that over on the right side over here as well when he was dropping this base. It's things like that that have really cost GuMiho quite heavily. When he's been getting a lot of momentum under his belt, he's suddenly kind of lost it all over again. As Broodlord's now going to take down that planetary fortress. A T-Shank picked off as well. Bio in the bottom left picking their way through this hatchery. You're going to see the Corruptor popping out. And you see the Zerglings continue to come on through here, picking away at a bunch of these Marines. Broodlords coming up to the top side. Viper, Corruptors, and Infestors all setting up ready to go. You see the Broodlings going to be dropping down a few more of those Broodlings here, but it's actually not really slowing the Terran army all too much. It's a mega push out of GuMiho through the center. Solar, and eventually, I mean, the thing is, those Broodlords, while they're not making a lot of progress through the army, they are eventually going to keep it kind of pushed back, right? Here comes the rest of the army as well. Meanwhile, 18 SCVs going down. I don't even know where that's happening. I think a base just got blown up or something. Workers going down then for GuMiho. Makes this attack super all in, essentially, as you're going to see the Broodlords connecting now on the siege tanks. The Balin's got some damage done as well. The Force getting a couple of shots off, but they're getting blown up. The Corruptors are getting rid of the medevacs, so the Force can't just sit in those safely. And GuMiho's army is cleaned out for Solar to take down game number 1 of this game number 2 of this best of 5. To the bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player, give it up if you are cheering on Solar. Up against the blue Terran in the top right-hand side from Psystorm Gaming, we have GuMiho. Game 3 of this best of 5 then. Looking to see what will happen. Again, how's everyone doing out in the chat? Thank you so much for joining me today. Casting the WardiTV Invitational 7 playoffs. As we get this up and running. And continue on through this. Which is pretty awesome. Sorry, I'm still a little bit sniffly here and there, guys. Alright, so gonna see SCVs on the way out, barracks dropping down in the main base as well as Solar, an overlord from him. Going to start moving across over to the far right hand side of the map here, so getting this set up to go. So we're moving over to the far right hand side. Reaper is on the way up here from GuMiho, so getting that ready to roll as well. It's about halfway done at the moment. And we are going to see that spawning pool just about to finish up from Solar. So getting that spawning pool finished as we see the hatchery just about to finish as well. And again, that Reaper is just going to finish up right now. He's going to start heading down to the bottom left hand side. Reaper down to the bottom left. Feelings poking away at the Reaper. And the factory just dropping down in that main base as well. So getting set up into this third hatchery coming through too. New Republicans see as a map then. A little bit easier to kind of play a split map on. The middle of the map for New Republicans is very interesting actually, because you kind of get this sort of point where, yeah, even if these rocks go down, you still got a lot of kind of choky pathways to move through. A lot of the action actually comes from pushes through the bottom side and so on, and you know, oftentimes Terran players setting up a base here and then continue to push on towards the Zerg bases becomes very problematic. As you see this Reaper coming forward, it's going to be popping up in the next few moments. Link speed coming through. Factory going to be dropping down on the reactor. Barracks moving away in the starport. It's not going to be able to build a add-on itself. Yeah, okay. With the way the barracks is flying, there is going to be the barracks to build up a tech lab there. So getting that set up and ready to go. Meanwhile, the Marine going to tag the Overlord a little bit, so dealing some damage at the moment. A couple more Overlords on the way out. Starport just finishing a command center on the third base. Going to be done in a few moments as well. So command center here will finish up. Going to start morphing that into an orbital nice and quickly now. Marine here poking away at the Overlord, and again some creep spread from Solar coming out onto the map, connecting up the natural and the third base, and pushing out into the center as well. And that Bane nest coming through too. So all of this getting set up at the moment. As you do see this Marine able to jump onto that Overlord. And I mean, Overlord just looking for info, and we'll actually be able to see the Cloak Banshee setup. So, nice little bit of info here from Solo as he moves through. Didn't see the tech lab on the barracks. You can see GuMiho started Stim as a bit of a fake out, but we'll just lift that barracks to make another tech lab. So this definitely does seem to be kind of pushing towards that mech play, more so than the bio play that we did see on Kairos Junction. Now, obviously, mech play works quite nicely here if you do end up going split map, because, well, split map obviously already meching. And it's obviously pretty good for you. Just going to see a depot dropping down here, and finally dropping down as well. Banshee of GuMiho up to the upper left hand side, and again those few Queens of Solar moving around the left for the moment. The Zergling's going to be chased down by the Hellions as well. Lair just about 75% of the way done. Ah, Banshee flies into the spawn, the Queen just cloaks itself up to get out of there. Bad control from GuMiho though. Lucky to have this alive, and we'll just have to go home and repair it up. Absolutely useless on one hit away from death, so not looking good at all at the moment. As we are just going to be seeing Solar just Well, continue to set up. Some Queens coming out through the center of the map, pushing that creep forwards. The Hellions now going to replace this Banshee in terms of harassing their space. And I tell you what, Solo doesn't have a lot in position. Oh my god, those Zeros were stacking up as well. They're going to line up once more. 7 workers killed, and the Hellions are out of there without too many losses, even getting some Banelings on their exit. And especially as you're playing mech, it's very nice to be able to trade off a couple Hellions for anything, really, because the Hellions are very replaceable. Especially worker damage, killing Banelings. This is really nice. As you can see, Solo going into +1 melee and +1 missiles. He's going to play into Lingbane Hydra. So no Carapace upgrade. Maybe, I wonder if he is aware of that it's going to be mech here. Maybe he just has a feeling, because there's actually a better setup for mech, because he's getting that missile upgrade. Maybe the melee upgrade still doesn't help him a lot. There's a bit of a different way to go about this, as we're going to be seeing the Hydra Den going to be cancelled. Because we already had one, so maybe he just didn't realize he's building the second one. Okay, so double armory dropping down here from GuMiho. Again, that's set to go. The Hyperflight Rotors is obviously a big upgrade here as well. So really looking at these Banshees as a way to continue harassing throughout the course of the game. They're so powerful, and especially if like Swarm Hosts come up or so, it's nice to have those Banshees to be able to hunt those down a little bit, for example. They're very good against Roach Ravager. In fact, I'd say the Hydras are the Banshees in the worst spot when it comes to playing against Hydras. But obviously, that said, the Banshees can still find openings, they can find opportunities to get in position, deal some damage, clean out creep spread. The Hydras can't be everywhere all at once. As we are going to see, these Hellions going to be sacrificing this Hellion here to get one more creep tumor, and this Hellion to get another. Doesn't actually sacrifice it, but takes some health off of it. Nice splash damage play there by GuMiho, and it just saves him another scan, as now the Banshees are going to arrive, and 3 Banshees will start a one-shot creep tumors if he wants to drop this scan and pick off a couple more. He's going to fly right into this army. Cloak, though, and there is not going to be any detection yet, so able to get a few shots, and the Banshee's getting some good damage done. Just has to be careful as he goes into range of the Spore Crawler, but pulls back pretty quick. Again, GuMiho being very cautious with these expensive units after the initial mishap with them. Obviously, again, kind of losing that first one was, or nearly losing that first one was a little bit disastrous, but was able to pull it around, was able to fix it up a little bit, was able to sort it out. So these Banshees gathered together. We're going to be seeing a few of these Hellions and GuMiho setting up in the center as well. Just able to pick off a couple of Zerglings. Infestation Pit on the way up. Getting that up and running here. Hydras, Lings, couple of Banelings. All of this from Solo just sat on the third base for the moment. Just a little bit of creep spread will push out through the top side of the map. Again, that Hydra speed continuing up as well. Muscular augments coming through here. There's Hellions of GuMiho back. Pulling away back home. Couple of 4s going to deal some good damage to that Overseer as well. So able to get a good little bit of connection onto that. Fusion Core just over halfway done. Again, just continue to build up the siege tanks here. I mean, it's not going to be that Hellion Cyclone style we've seen so much of. It's just going to be more traditional sort of mech play with the Banshees as a supporting unit. I like it. GuMiho mixing it up because I feel like he's typically meant to play Hellion Cyclone in one game of this series. And then he opened game 1 with a 3 racks. He went bio in game number 2. So he's really kind of changing it up a lot. And you know, in terms of how a series plays out, that's very nice, right? It really keeps Solo on his toes. It keeps Solo guessing. It's hard for Solo to make adjustments game to game because GuMiho's entire playstyle changes game to game, and that makes it very difficult for Solo to adjust from mistakes or adjust to things that he notices, which is pretty crazy. Pretty nice as well, as we do have the few Lings just gathering up on the bottom right hand side. Couple SCVs getting nibbled away at. Couple workers going down there as the Hellions coming in. Lings taking some damage. And there's Gains and Hydras still moving around as well. Just coming around to this top side and having a look to see which direction it can come in from. And a few of those Hydras just gathering together. Banshees down to the center. Grey Spy on the way, and a couple more Starports coming up as well. A few more siege tanks too. Advanced ballistics on the way out. And 8 Corruptors coming into play here as Banshees in the middle of the map will pick their way through a bunch of these creep units. So a lot of creep being cleaned out here at the moment. We'll see a bunch more creep being cleaned out as well. I mean, good little push through the center as GuMiho maxing out. Is this sort of time where he wants to hit, especially as this pre-Broodlord timing, so hitting just before the Broodlords is a very powerful time to attack in. And we'll see, we'll maybe start to set up extra starports behind this as we do see this little attack through here at the moment. A few more drones on the way up. Greatest Fire is going to be finished in a moment or so. And again, those Banshees going to be coming in. Spore Crawler are going to go down. I mean, this is just how many Banshees we have at the moment. We don't have to realistically just sit here and kill a Spore Crawler or so. Twins do show up though. One Banshee will fall. Was that a save on the... Okay, I thought I saw a transfusion on the Spine Crawler. I had to go back and double check. It was not the case. As you can see, this army continue to pull back. The Hellions pulling back a little bit. You talking about this upgrade Roll and Thunder, Magfield Accelerator? It's just for the Cyclones to do bonus damage when locked on. Eight Broodlords on the way up. So getting those set up and ready. Again, a good army sat in the center of the map here currently from GuMiho. 3 Liberators on the way, 3 Command Centers being added on too. A few more Spine Crawlers also being brought up here on the top left hand side. You see those Hellions, Baneling Connection is pretty good. Actually, a couple of Baneling Connections are very good so far. Those Hellions getting away, but not being able to do too much else. Well, 4 Liberators at a time, but not really much to straight up deal with Broodlords, I feel. And this tank is obviously going to probably unsiege and just back away now because, well, let's face it, tanks don't exactly trade well against Broodlings. Friendly fire is not a fun thing to have happen as you see Banshees find themselves on the top side hatchery though. Liberators will siege themselves up. So that means their Liberators are very exposed to the well, Parasitic Bomb and also Corruptors. Good little run siege and split away though, so good little something there as we do see this army continue to pull away. 4 helping out, I mean Liberators even turned to fire. Probably time to start bringing some of these Vikings into play though. As the Banshee for some reason just cloaked up, all 3 of them just ran into that. Left this base alive at half health. And Solar has quite the push coming in towards the natural expansion of GuMiho here at the moment. So GuMiho does seem to be in a bit of trouble, sieging up a bunch of Liberators at the moment. We're going to see a lot of these Hydras starting to go down. Corruptors taking quite a bit of damage as well. Tanks and Hellions pushing through with the rest of this. Wings up on the top side. Some of these SCVs taking a lot more damage as well. 9 workers killed. Hydras picking their way through that orbital command. Hellions are going to push forwards and these Hellions are going to be able to chase down those Hydralisks. So Hydras being chased into the center. 11 more Corruptors on the way up now. SCVs repairing up, Vikings and so on. And this army is going to be pressing through. Here we go, the Liberators can potentially siege up onto the Hydras or so. Actually just dealing a little bit of damage and Hellions wolfing into the Hellbats right away. Again, there's a couple of 4s going to finish up, and we still see even more Banelings being brought into play now. Engine goes down, Hellbats in a tank. Going to want to keep pressing forwards. It's going to start setting up. We do see one of the Liberators caught in a Parasitic Bomb here. And we are going to be seeing the tanks still pressing forwards as well. Broodlord's still taking quite a bit of damage, and we are going to be seeing this army from the GuMiho kind of put up a good fight. It's kind of a weird little back and forth. The Liberators running away from Corruptors, but the 4s are enough to actually get rid of the Broodlords, because the rest of the ground army from Solar has gone down. Corruptors still chasing those Liberators here, can't actually find any defense to help them out. Missile turret or 2 will actually start to deal some damage, which is quite nice. But it's not enough. I mean, these Liberators are still being hunted. And if Corruptors showing up, I mean, all of these Liberators are going to end up dropping. Nice of GuMiho to clean out the army, but again, needs to save those libs. Needs to set up once again. Solar still has a bank. He's already approaching being maxed out again with that bank still in play. Pushing forwards here. Another set of Banelings going to morph in. 4s, tanks, Hellions gathering up just to the right side of these rocks here now. And they're set to go. A few more Banelings finishing up. Siege tanks continuing on. Planetary Fortress on the bottom side. So GuMiho muling this up. We'll have a lot of income to work with. We'll want to get those gases working as well. We all know that one of the tougher factors of mech play is having enough gas to spend. Good defense for Solar. A couple of spine crawlers, though. There will still be a bunch of drones going down. The thing is, when you throw this many Hellions in, it still takes time for the Hellions to kind of be killed by the spines, and now they move into Hellbats. There's 13 workers and a spine crawler that goes down here, and actually a bunch of Zerglings. Oh my god, the massacre at the end. Solar just lost a ton of units. And I guess that's worth mentioning as well that this is still kind of Lingbane Hydra as a base of the army. The Lingbane Hydra as a base of this army is obviously not the best in terms of efficiency against mech. +1 ship weapons coming in on the armor on the bottom on the main base, so upgrading those air units now as well, as we do see the Lingbane Hydras, Banes pushing around into the center. See those couple of Broodlings dropping down. Gonna see the Hellion getting picked off right there, and again, Creep gonna be continuing along. Scan drops on this army again. Broods and Corruptors. Queen's also gonna be pushing across into the center of the map at the moment. So they're still pushing out into the middle. A couple of tanks up to the top side. Wanting to set up and try and position themselves to come in and get something done. They're going to run around, and again, there's a little wrap around there. Going to pick away at the siege tank. It's kind of a weird few tanks that are just kind of coming up here. I think trying to kill this base, but it all came in a bit disjointed and so on. Maybe just freeing up supply to build even more Vikings here as Force coming in towards those Broodlords again. Sorry, still pressing forward. Man, when those Broodlings first land, they are absolutely deadly. It's crazy. As we'll see another set of them dropping down here. Hellbat will kind of block the way. And 17, 18 minutes into this is game 3 of a best of 5. Really turned into quite an epic best of 5 after a 21-minute game number 2. This has really turned into quite something, as a couple of extra factories on the way out now from GuMiho. So still setting up into a few more of these. We do see Tank 4 pushing through some of this creep spread. Quite a lot of this creep going down, actually. It's making good work on that. The SCVs dropping as well. And again, this army of GuMiho hanging back for the moment, just over to the right side. Broodlords, Lings, Banes, and Queens. Hydras as well, going to be pressing on in. A couple of 4s already dropping down. And again, just going to be seeing the siege tank and the Hellbats taking some damage as well. Ooh, Blinding Cloud's actually pretty good on top of those siege tanks here. Solar going very far forwards. I mean, the Vikings are fighting, but there's Queens for transfusions, and it kind of feels like Solar just has a bit too much at the moment, and GuMiho is going to be pushed back away over to the right. We're going to see those Reals having to evacuate this forward base, which has just recently been established. And wow, Solar has a bit of a death march coming through right now. Broodlords en masse. I mean, this is actually like 16 Broodlords. It actually is 16 as well. I mean, these Corruptors obviously have to be a bit careful, but then there's these, and there's the Queens to transfuse. These Broodlords have so much life in them. And I mean, with this many Broodlings, it's going to be so tough for those 4s to get in range to hit those Broodlords. And that's the problem. The 4s just don't quite have that range to really make this happen at all. The Broodlords can pick off a 4 so easily when the first Broodlings drop on down. GuMiho is going to max out one more time, so this is it. If you can hold on now, maybe he can make something happen. Solar is kind of out of money. He has no minerals left at all, so if GuMiho can hold, and in fairness, those 4s are starting to deal some damage. Corruptors in the sky being picked away at by the Viking count, as well as reinforcements showed up from GuMiho here and there. Solar's army is dropping. Only a few Corruptors left. If the Corruptors go down, the Broodlords will be exposed. The 4s are still firing. The Broodlord count was 16. It's now down to 5. What on earth is going on? I don't even know. As GuMiho's supply is staying strong, and Solar's is just disappearing. Oh my god, the Broodlords are all going to go down. The 4s are going to keep pressing forwards. What on earth was this fight? Solar is actually going to lose. GuMiho takes it. Man, this was crazy. There were so many Broodlords there, and it really just felt like GuMiho was just going to roll over and die. Not the case at all. GuMiho picks up game 3 with a hell of a hold. That was actually pretty... I mean, 4s are good, but I just thought there was enough Broods to keep the 4s from really firing, to deal enough damage. Not the case at all. Maybe needed a couple of abducts or something, or anything to really bring those 4s out from that little choke in the natural. Maybe Solar even just went too far forwards. Man, what a crazy little situation. our map. And we do start down to the bottom right-hand side. Our red Zerg player. This is Solar. To the top left, our blue Terran player is GuMiho. Best of 5 semi-finals in the WardiTV Invitational 7, which means we have a best of 5 between Sue and Zest coming up after this series. Should be pretty awesome. Yeah, best of 5, guys. Best of 5. No one in the chat knew it was best of 5. Pay more attention. If you're enjoying this stream, don't forget to hit that follow button. We're pushing them 40,000 follower mark, which is pretty sick. If you're really enjoying, don't forget you can subscribe to the channel as well. Much appreciated as we get this underway. Let's see how things are going to be going. So, building this up, getting underway, hatchery dropping down here to get things started. I mean, it is a pool first, which is something we haven't seen Solar do yet, so a little bit more pressure coming in on these early stages. Sixlings on the way up, extractor as well, starting to build here. I'm just going to be seeing the Reaper coming through at the moment. So Reaper on the way up, SCV can come through and build up this command center as well. Yeah, getting this rolling. Nothing too crazy right away, as we do see the factory going to drop down. Get this set up to go. Some Dark Ones with a 42-month resub. Create some hype in the chat for Dark Ones, everyone. It's a huge resub. Second largest of the day. Reaper out through the center of the map. And some of these Zerglings coming around the left-hand side as well. They're going to come through and make their way through that reactor on the barracks, which is actually really sick. That's a nice kill. The fact that this barracks is on the low ground rather than the high ground means the reactor is exposed where usually it wouldn't be. And while GuMiho is walled off, I mean, it's cost him a reactor, which is kind of a big deal. A couple Lings firing away. Reaper will come through, and we do see the Lings still taking some damage. So this is going to be a cleanup, but again, losing the reactor kind of sucks. Factory going to build a tech lab now. GuMiho setting up into a bit of a weird opening with what's happened here so far. Definitely not going to be your kind of regular opening, right? Tech lab factory, no reactor. There's a bunker behind this, so he is very safe in case of any sort of roach-based follow-up, which is oftentimes a likely occurrence when you have that pool first. So we're just kind of preparing for the worst, as we are going to be seeing the Reaper going to be blocked in by the Queen and the Lings. So Reaper goes down, doesn't really pick up any information. So GuMiho going to be playing a little bit blind here for the next little while. As another drone drops down to the low ground. Still going to start mining away with this over here. A couple of starports on the way up as well from GuMiho, so getting those up and running as well. Just getting everything established right now. And as you do see the Cyclone also on the way up, so again, just getting everything underway in these early stages. I mean, the two starports is just crazy. I don't know what on earth this is going to be. Double starport Banshee, I suppose, would be my guess. That or he goes some. I mean, what else could you really do? Do something real ridiculous, throw down a fusion core? What do you need double starport for then? Road drone starts up from Solar. The lair starting up as well, so getting that underway. Solar just showing us a little bit of roach play already here for Port Alexander. Once again, GuMiho's opening definitely a little bit funky, definitely a little bit weird. There's two Banshees on the way up then. Command Center is on the way out for a third base. And Hyperflight Rotors to begin. Cloak will follow, but Hyperflight Rotors is a longer upgrade, so better to start that sooner. As we do see the factory moving over to the reactor. Cyclone is out, and obviously that will help to hold on here in the early stages. Couple of Spore Crawlers building up as well. There's that Cloak as mentioned. Again, it's just a shorter upgrade than the Hyperflight, so better to start Hyperflight first. And again, those couple of spores just continue to come on up. More drones on the way out. A couple more circles too. All of this creep spread from Solar just spreading around the map, by the way. Some of this creep coming up to the top, some of it down through the center. Moving all over the place at the moment. So pushing that creep out onto the map here. Getting that established, as we do see a Spire dropping down in the natural expansion of Solar as well. Two Banshees are going to be coming along down to the bottom side also. Swinging these couple of Banshees along. And there's that Spire continuing. Pneumatized Carapace coming up on the natural. Even going to invest into a second Spore Crawler Solar on the third base. Has seen the double starport, so he knows what's coming. He knows what to expect, and those extra spores will definitely help out. I tell you what, going into a Spire already is putting Solar into a hell of a good position to deal with this, right? Get some mutas up, and even if there's fours behind this, just shutting down the Banshees with some Mutalisks can put you into a really good spot here already, so it's definitely worth keeping in mind as a Queen. Able to poke away at them Banshees, and the Banshees are going to get pushed down to the bottom side. And there's a few Hellions ready to perhaps run by in towards the third base as well. Lings and a Queen nearby though. Let's see what these Hellions can do. Not a lot. Lings are pretty quick to respond, although they are actually, the Lings taking quite a bit of damage already. Lings continuing up here. There's a couple of them get roasted. Overseer down to the bottom. A couple of armories will build up as well. Overseer still flying around. Again, the Banshees coming across the map. Lings and Roaches able to get us around on those Hellions too, so actually shutting that down pretty nicely. 7 Mutalisks on the way out. A couple of armories on the way up. Engineering Bay as well. We do see this armory. Oh, this Overseer, sorry. Running into the main base. Cyclone Lock-On is going to be able to shut this down. And again, those Banshees of GuMiho running around to the top side of the map. Just going to be seeing the Banshees try to hunt down a drone or so. Yes, he's going down across the map as the Mutalisks fly in, so again a little bit of damage done. He was able to pick off a couple of SCVs so far, and again a couple of fours being built up at the moment, plus 1 vehicle weapons and plating on the way out too. Hydra's Den about halfway done. Infestation Pit has just finished up. Cyclone locks on one more time, and you just see the Mutalisks again just taking a little bit more damage. Oh my god, the Muta! And the Muta's killing 9 SCVs, but obviously losing quite a few of them. The Banshees across the map while the Muta's out of position. Kind of swapping targets here, trying to surprise and kind of mess up the transfusions. These few Mutas will be able to get these kills. The Banshees will try to escape. Mutas will be able to get... Oh my god, target that low health Banshee, please. There we go. 1 Banshee. Only 1. Well, nice to be able to kill off these Queens. Obviously, the full production will continue to help, and maybe we could just see like a Hellbat 4 Banshee push, perhaps. As we do see Hydra's on the way up now, but it's kind of like Ling Hydra. Hellions will do pretty well against it. It's definitely a possibility. There's not many Mutas left over. It was kind of weird. Like, I mean, he did okay-ish damage with these Mutas. Having a few still alive is still nice to help push Banshees away, but it wasn't exactly the greatest set of Mutalisks. As these Mutas pushing that Rax over to the side. A couple of Medivacs down into the center. 4s inside of them. Won't be coming across here now. Those 2 factories finishing up as Banshee's still coming out. And 4's just lifting back up, running away. He has Lings, Roaches, and Hydras coming along. Cyclone locks on. Mutalisks takes a little bit of damage. Hive about to complete here from Solar. And again, those Banshees just from GuMiho coming up to the top side of the map as Lings, Roaches, and Hydras gathering up out towards the center. The 4's going to pull back home, and again the Banshees coming forward. They're able to get rid of a couple of these creep tumors. He's going to be able to come in, and again those Banshees just pulling back. There's Vipers on the way up, so that Hive Tech here from Solar. Well, it's just been a bit of a different game, hasn't it? With all of those Banshees opening, etc. But it is turned into, again, this kind of pretty traditional mech, kind of tank Hellion. He is building a couple Cyclones too. It's kind of just a mix of any kind of mechanical unit you can build at the moment. So a lot of Banshees in here as well as Solar into the center. Again, at the moment only 2 siege tanks. And I tell you what, as these first Vipers come up, I kind of wonder, I kind of wonder if the Vipers coming up really gives Solar a chance just to kind of come in and to win a fight. Because there isn't many siege tanks, and I kind of feel like that's maybe a real opportunity here. With 3 Vipers, you abduct the tanks or blinding cloud them. There's not much damage output that can't be dealt with very quickly. It's a pretty large army from Solar. I mean, both players are maxed out. It's just a weird mix of units, right? And that's why I'm a little uncertain as to whether GuMiho's army can hold on here to a larger attack coming in. These mutants are still flying around, and it's actually going to pull quite a lot of Hellions and Cyclones down to the bottom side. Oh my god, abducts the Medevac with 4s inside. Blinding Cloud on unsieged tanks as well. I mean, this is a hell of a start to this fight here. One more abduct is all he has, but it's enough to get rid of one more tank. And again, it's just taken so long for GuMiho to set up into any sort of defense now. The tanks are finally sieged, but, well, Overseer will go down, so there's no more detection to deal with those Banshees. Obviously, the tank's starting to deal quite a bit of damage as well. So, runs away with a fairly successful attack under his belt, right? I mean, this went very well for him. He killed off the 4s, he killed off most of the tanks. And he's already remaxing very quickly as GuMiho lost a lot. As you're going to see him continue to press forwards into the center. I mean, this doesn't really answer my question either as to whether GuMiho's army could put up a fight, because this was obviously GuMiho caught completely off guard. I would have liked to see a fight where he's maybe sieged up a bit and then maybe Solar tries to take it from there. Would have gone a little bit better. Merchant Hydra's pressing forwards, and we're just going to be seeing those Cyclones taking a little bit more damage. They're still coming through, and again, a couple more Hellions going down, Hellbats as well. Another shot there, Hellion getting picked off one more time. And those couple of Vipers pressing forwards, going to abduct the tank in. Nice Blinding Cloud on the ramp, and we are just going to see the Cyclones pushed up there. All of Command taking quite a bit of damage. These Hydras still pressing forwards as well. I mean, this is just Solar having way too much at the moment, isn't it? Just a continuation from the previous fight, where Solar just had a very good fight, and obviously from there it gets a little bit out of hand, it gets a little bit crazy. Banshees will cloak up as they continue down to the bottom right. Hydras here will be able to fight them though, and well, actually were when they're in range of the Spore Crawler. Overseers are flying back home to help out with this. I mean, this is really kind of, it's not quite GuMiho's last stand, but as the Banshees go down, it takes away one of the things that was really still in the game for GuMiho. Now, he's just got kind of a Hellion Cyclone force, which is not really at the numbers it needs to be effective. It's also not on the map. It doesn't have that map control that Hellion Cyclone is meant to have. And so realistically, I think Solar pushing forwards is in a pretty good spot. Whether he ends the game with this attack, well, maybe not. He's got Corruptors on the way as a follow-up though, so he's getting more and more set up here as these Hellbats will drop on top of the Hydras. I mean, it's a nice idea. It does actually get quite a lot of damage done. Quite a few of these Hydras going down. Cyclones being picked away at. Another SCV going down as well shortly as you see the Overseers just sieged up. Abducts on the Cyclones as well as expensive losses from GuMiho. And that'll be GG as Solar takes game. On the top left-hand side, our red Zerg player is Solar, up against the blue Terran GuMiho on the bottom right of King's Cove to wrap up this semi-final. Which of these players will go through to play against either Zest or Sue in the finals? Well, that's what we're going to start finding out right now here on King's Cove. Again, thank you for everyone who's checking out the Matcherino page. We are still only $24 away from finishing our crowdfunding for this tournament, so do check that out. Please, please, please. And of course, if you're enjoying the tournament, there's a few little things that you can do to there's a few different things you can do to support for free as well. A couple of follows and subscribes here and there on my own content and my own accounts, so it goes a long way. So do potentially check that out. It's much appreciated as we get this ready to go. Starting up in the next few moments here. And center bottom right, Solar in the top left. Just seeing some sort of direction we're going to start taking this in. Oh, sorry, I'm still just a little bit sniffly, guys. Just taking a moment to catch a breather. I know we just came out of a game, but just came out of a break, but just taking myself a moment or two. Been pretty ill the last few days, so trying to just make sure we get better. And yeah, one of those days where it's like we kind of have to cast a day, and I really didn't want to take another day off, but it's getting a little crazy now. Getting a little crazy. Okay, let's jump into this then. As we can follow a drone, let's follow an overlord instead. All right, so Wardy, what did you work/study before becoming a streamer? I studied physics at university, graduated my master's, and then became a StarCraft streamer. I am feeling a bit better, guys. Just to answer the question in the chat, I am feeling a bit better, much better than I did on Wednesday. Just still not 100%. Just fine. At least we're good enough to cast, but sometimes it's nice just to take a moment to breathe while you're not feeling great. So that's all. Just explain why we're being a little bit quiet as we do see Reapers coming in, grenades popping those queens around. Just gonna be seeing Reapers hopping back down to the low ground here, so all over the place at the moment as we do see the Reapers poking away at this. Starport on the way up back at home from GuMiho, a third CC as well on the way down. So nice fast free CC. Has only just taken his second gas, so playing a very greedy open here, GuMiho for King's Cove. A couple of Reapers are continuing to pick their way through the hatchery, so they did a very good job of this, putting this down to almost half health already with these Reapers and so on. And it just means that the hatchery is a little bit more vulnerable to attacks later in the game, of course, so worth keeping in mind. And as you see the Reapers coming around to the right. Standing up at the top again, a couple of Hellions here. Going to be able to pick off a Zergling nice and quickly, so Zergling going down. Drone coming over towards the natural expansion. And just going to see the Banshee, a couple more Hellions on the way up. Just continuing to set up into this as the lair. On the way out from Solar in the main base, getting this set up and ready to go. And again, Cloak just on the way out from GuMiho, so getting this rolling too as an Overlord. Just going to be sat out overhead. A couple of Hellions from GuMiho are going to start moving across the map. No armory or anything, so no Hellbat attack, just Hellions to apply some pressure across the map in the early stages and kind of going from there. So I was once again going to go Rotron Lair, getting that set up to go. A couple of Hellions. I mean, there's actually quite a few Hellions here, and I'll tell you what, there's not that many Zerglings initially. A few more Lings coming in from the right-hand side. They might just be able to buy enough time for the Queens to get here and start dealing some damage. Yeah, they will. Nice from the Zerglings in the end. It was scary for a while, though, and actually still is scary as those drones are stacked up. One drone goes down, that will be all. These two low-health Hellions will take some damage as they try and run away. Those Zerglings chasing them down. Be able to pick those off. So those Hellions will drop down as well. As we still just have this little army, this Ling is coming down the bottom of the side, just trying to see what's going on again. Trying to see what's going on, looking for any opportunities to get a little bit of something done. Queen sat across the map, and again those Lings just pulling back up to the top side. A few more Hellions showing up from GuMiho. There's a few Queens actually coming across. So Solo's going to turn this into a bit of an all-in with Lings, Roaches, and the Queen drop. So Solo going to get very aggressive in the next few moments. So big attack from Solo, looking to end this early on King's Cove, not wanting to let GuMiho mech up, as he is actually setting up into the couple of armor you see in the back of the natural. So Overlord coming forwards again, just going to be seeing the Banshees backing away then. GuMiho will have to evacuate the third base initially. Queen's about to show up, so he has a defense against the, or an attack against the Banshees as well, so the Banshees are just going to be able to clean it up themselves. Bunker is about to finish though, and a tank here too, and if he holds two bases, that's still pretty good for GuMiho, who can obviously just lift this third base up and reposition it. The tank is going to be sieged, and a couple of Banshees getting some shots off while not in range of the Queens. The Queens busying themselves with some Hellbat attacks actually. Banshees continue to come through. SCV is going to come back to repair again. Tank on the high ground actually picks off a Ravager. Oh my god, GuMiho nearly lost the third base. Oh my god, that would have been actually devastating as the Solar is droning up. GuMiho cannot afford to lose the third base. Absolutely no way. He's going to come in to repair that. Queens are going to go for it, try and snipe it down, but the SCVs are here to repair, and these Queens are very much so on their own. This actually now gives the Banshees a opportunity to come in and attack some bits and pieces on the low ground. More damage onto these Queens actually. Transfusions are going to be dropped pretty quick. I tell you what, the Queens are going to start dropping. When the Queens drop, those Banshees will rule the skies, and they will have no problem at all pushing the rest of this away. So I think it's a good hold by GuMiho, all said and done. It's going to be seeing those Lingers, Queens, the Roaches just sat here on the left as you see Helene going to get pushed away. Banshee's coming forward. Another Queen going to drop down in a moment. So the Halbat's dealing some good damage as well. This Queen is going to go down, absolutely. So Queen falls. The Silverlord pulling away up to the top side, and we are going to be seeing the Zerglings also continuing to drop. As we do just have the few extra drones. Continue to set up here right now. A couple more falls on the way out from GuMiho. Setting this up. +2 vehicle weapons also coming into play at the moment. There's SCVs just preparing up the Banshee. Getting this set up to go. 7 Swarm Hosts coming out of the main base. Overlord's going to start pressing out into the middle of the map, and an Overseer here from Solo coming back to scout around once again. A little bit of a look to see what is going on at the moment. A couple of 4s firing away as the Contaminator will come down. Better to contaminate something rather than nothing, right? You've got that energy on the Overseer. May as well make use of it. More factories just building up here at the moment. 6 more Swarm Hosts are building too. So getting this set to go as all these Swarm Hosts out into the center of the map. So all of this coming out into the middle. Roaches, Ravages, all gathering up. Some Queens throwing down creep tumors in the center too, as you see a couple of these Overlords spreading some creep as well. Drone's going to move down to that low ground 4th base as we have got a couple of Queens able to push them Banshees away down to the south. Going to be seeing a couple changes picked off. GuMiho is up to 4 bases now. Feels like Solar obviously going to want to get aggressive with these Swarm Hosts initially. So the first wave of Locust sets up. Tell you what though, there's quite a few Hellbats here. They don't have Blue Flame yet. Hellbat's obviously pretty good at protecting this, although they do let the 4s kind of sit on their own. So one of the 4s goes down. The other 4 nearly goes down. That Siege Tank splash damage nearly gets rid of it if they end on the final shot. The Hellions pressing forwards, and Queen's still pulling back here just a little bit. The Hellions back down in towards the 3rd base, and SR turrets are going to build up now as well. So really just trying to set up this defensive line. If you hold this 4th base, you hold the 4 bases very easily, all of them. So GuMiho looking to get that defense set up. Locust pop up into the sky, going to come down to the bottom right hand side. Going to be dropping in on this army in the next couple of moments. 4 going to drop. Roaches, Ravages, and Queens pressing through as well. And this army continue to be cleaned up at the moment, so quite a bit of damage still being done. Cyclones locking on. Queens taking some more damage. Queens taking more and more shots here. As again, the Cyclones locking on for a few moments. Going to see them small crawlers going to be pushed away here. Obviously, are going to get shut down as well. Still, this army of GuMiho supplying some pressure. Spore will fall. It looks like Soul in the center of the map. Going to be able to come forwards now. Overlord going to get knocked out a little bit as well. So the supply's still good, but of course a lot of it isn't Swarm Host. He has to rely on those cooldowns to be able to come in and actually deal damage more or less. Overlord on the right side gets picked off. Locust going to jump up into the sky, start moving forwards. Here we go. Going to see those Locusts dropping down. And Hellbat's doing quite a bit here, taking away a lot of these Locusts. You see a few Roaches going to press forwards up in towards the natural expansion. A couple of Hellions continuing through. A couple of Liberators going to get themselves sieged up as well. Cyclones locking in and going to be able to pick away at so many more of these Roaches. Continue to shut this down. More and more damage being done. As well, I mean, Solar is just going to be sat in the middle of the map with those Swarms who are still waiting. There's a lot of roaches that he's losing to not really gain that much, I feel. I think that GuMiho's position just seems to be getting a little bit better and better. Because I feel like the Longer Solar doesn't really do much with this, the worse it gets for him. Although I guess he is setting up into the Great Spire, so he is going to have that on his side very shortly. So that's something we can look at here as a positive for Solar. So you see the Locust, the Swarm Horse backing away once again, realizing here that they have to be a little bit cautious now. GuMiho pressing through into the middle of the map, and Overseer goes down as it morphs in. GuMiho actually pressing forwards with a hell of an army. Those roaches, I mean, that's the issue. It's only really roaches. If those locusts aren't around, the roaches are not very good on their own. And that's the issue Solo's running into a little bit here. Now Banshees find themselves on top of Swarm Horse, kills off one, going for more. Just gets the one before Queen comes down to protect. But it is GuMiho who's pressing into the center of the map. Cyclone's locking on. And you do see the tanks. They need to target fire the Roach Ravagers so they don't friendly fire themselves as the Locusts drop in. Didn't quite have that, but it didn't matter. The Locusts actually got dealt with pretty quickly. Now we have a maxed out GuMiho pressing forwards, locking onto these Cyclones. And I mean, really, it's kind of looking as though it might just be the end of it. As you see these Hydras, these Roaches and Ravagers continue to be in a lot of trouble. Cyclone's still pressing through. A couple more corrosive piles dropping down, but not doing much. Army here from Solar coming in from the top side. Units still pressing forwards from GuMiho. I don't think Solar has enough. He's supply blocked as well. I mean, he doesn't even have the money to spend if he wanted more units. So it looks as though GuMiho is going to push through and to 3-2 himself into the finals of the WardiTV Invitational number 7. Last couple Hydras going down, another Roach as well. Locust will come forwards here too, dropping down these Hellbats. Able to get a good little bit of cleanup. And GuMiho will take this.